Our tune today, In A Sentimental Mood, Duke Ellington, recorded in 1935, lyrics Manny Kurtz. Beautiful tune, love it actually. Let's pull it apart. Let's start talking about the head first. Head's quite fascinating because it starts off with a pentatonic scale. That's a pentatonic scale. One more note, you got the rest of the head, right? Now, pentatonic, just so as you know what that means, is a 5-note, penta, 5-note scale. That's F major pentatonic, and all you do is you take out the 4th and the 7th, and you get the pentatonic. Now they're quite handy because the 4th and the 7th are harsher notes to use. So the pentatonic has always got a really lovely sweet sound. Anyway, it carries on. Get the counting there. Whoa. Now that A flat is quite interesting. The whole of this tune plays between major and minor. It kind of finishes, well it does, it finishes on F major 7. So you do tend to say to yourself, this is an F major 7. But there's a lot of play on the minor in between. And the A flat cuts D dead in half. Gives it a nice little bluesy sound. It's probably one of the only harsher notes within the A section of the head. Okay, so let's play it just right hand through the head. One, two, three. Now, notice I started counting towards the end. It really hurts. Sorry. It really helps. It doesn't hurt, was what I was trying to say. It really helps to get the head right to start with and then mess with it, rather than mess with it right from the start and never quite be sure how it goes. Often a little approach I used to use. So, I suggest, a bit of counting is really, really good. Particularly this part here. 1, 2, and... See, that's really quite pretty. So if you come into 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, it's slow, so you can mess with the swing too. Yes, okay, a couple of other things. At the end of the melody, if you're looking at the chart, it's just the beginning of first time bar. So you've got this 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 coming into it. Now you notice it's G because it's rather unfinished because we're coming back into our lovely little pentatonic scale. Now that also leads us into another thing. Notice how we didn't play that flat. We build up that pentatonic scale. Remember, this is a jazz ballad. Therefore, make the most of every note. Make the most of your dynamics and moving through your dynamics. B section. Now the B section is quite interesting. I'll go through it just a little bit. I was going to reserve this for the arrangement, but if you notice, the B section actually moves up into D flat major 7. I find that really interesting as your overall scale's F. To go out to a sharp 5 as your major scale. Quite cool. Although Ellington was a genius, so there you are. He makes that work beautifully. Okay, so then, having said that, we now know that our D flat major section, as far as our tune's concerned, is actually mainly D flat. Play it for you. Etc. into the back into the A section, right? So you've got that lovely little Pentatonic, rising up the dynamics, creating beauty in the heart of our listeners. Okay, now in the middle there was quite an interesting part. It's this part. G minor 7. Well, actually, no, the chords are actually tritones. So you've got B flat 7 here, E flat 7 here, F, or A flat 7 there, sorry. And you notice that this chord, G minor, major 7, C minor, major 7, F minor, major 7, coming up here. And accompanying that with our left hand, we've got tritones. B flat 7, E flat 7, A flat 7, and so the chord coming up is the off the relative minor each time. G minor is the relative minor to B flat, C minor to E flat, F minor to A flat. I find that interesting. In the end, we're going to play blues against it. But it's our only difference in what is otherwise very, very sweet sound, which is this B section, the D flat major. Okay, there's your head, really. You've got the other part. So there's the head. Now the chords. Chords are fascinating because they've got several things going on here. Let's look at the A section and let's look at Kesh. What is Kesh? Kesh stands for chromatically extended 7th harmony. Now I'll do it real simply over this D minor major 7, D minor 7, D minor 6. You'll notice that all that really means to us, if I just do it with a triad, there's your D minor. Now we've got to add the major 7 for the next chord, so here it is, a semitone away from our last root note. There's our D minor and our major 7. Now our major 7's changing to a minor 7, which means our 7th moves chromatically again, and then it moves to the 6th, which means it moves chromatically again. Chromatically extended 7th harmony. It's got all sorts of other names, but it's used a lot. So what you've got to do is learn the trick. So all it is here's our chord, then the major 7, then the minor 7, then the 6, and we're going to do it down here on this G minor as well, which is major 7, minor 7, minor 6. Now you'll see the notes that I've got there on the chart. We're going to mess with that a little just to make it a little more interesting, because you're always trying to make things a little more interesting. So instead of coming off the root all the time, we're going to come off the 3rd. So here we go, D minor major 7, D minor minor 7, D minor 6. And then we're going to come off the G minor. We're just going to come off the root this time, but it just gives us like a different inversion and interest for our listener. Major 7, minor 7, G minor 6, then the A7, and then D minor. Notice I'm leaving out the 5 a lot. We could put the 5 in if you wanted, but you are playing it coming up here, so as an interest note, I'd leave it out. And then for the D7, I'm just using a tritone. You can get more carried away, but keep things loose. Nice fuller sound here, and the G flat 7. This is more a rootless voicing to give a bit of interest and colour. I might explain this one a bit better for you. So we have in it, there's your flat 7, there's your 9, there's your 3, and there's your 6. And here is another rootless voicing, F major 7. We've got there's the major 7, right? There's the 9. Here's your 3. Here's your 5. No F. And then you're back into it again. You can see these is just dropping down through D, C sharp, C, B, and then G, F sharp, F, E. The only other chord I haven't explained so well is A7, G, A, C sharp. just before we hit the B section, the A7 here is really very interesting because it's often implying to us where our key is the D minor. It's not. Our key is the F major. So it's just a little composer playing with us, coming into the D minor, then the F sharp. Okay, that's plenty on the A. Let's go to the B section. The B section is really interesting because it's all D flat major except for that section in the middle, which we will talk about. And it's got a really sweet sound to it. The other really interesting thing about it is the chord choices, because we're going 1 and then we're doing an absolute classic 6, 2, 5, 1. Now that's often how you learn your chords. Definitely 2 5 1s, 2 5 1. But putting the 6 on in front, usually we don't get quite the whole progression. We do have it here, so explore it. It's useful. Learn that in all 12. Man, it'll do heaps for your playing. But what we're going to do here is we're going to drop down for our D flat. And you'll notice that we come up to our chord here. Now this is a D flat major 7, but it's because of the root note, but it's also B flat minor 7 in some respects. So we could just do that if we wanted to, but I don't bother because we've got this. The melody's travelling through it, making a B flat minor. So we've just got a nice drop down and a little difference to what we're doing, and then play it safe through. And those are 2 5 1s I've taught you, really, but they're there on the paper. So each one, let's go through each one. D flat, we're going to drop down, go low if you like, or not quite so low. Here you can have a look at the voicing. It's 3, 5, 6, 9. F, A flat, B flat, E flat. Okay, so that's 3, 5, 6, 9 for that. And that's going to cover our B flat minor 7. But if we wanted the minor third of B flat, just, I don't bother, but because we've got it up here. Now for our E flat minor 7, very safety net voicing, 1, 3, 7, or 1, flat 3, flat 7, sorry, E flat, G flat, D flat. And then on to the A flat 7, which is a very safety net for your dominant chord here, G flat, A flat, C, flat 7, 1, 3, and then we could just hit a root for the D flat, or we could hit this one, 1, 3, major 7. Now here, through the B flat 7, E flat 7, A flat 7, etc., we got a tritone movement. Notice they play perfectly into each other, just moving in semitones. So we're going, as far as numbers are concerned, 7, 3, 3, 7, 7, 3. For B flat, that is A flat and D. For E flat, that is G flat and D flat. And for A flat, that is G flat and C. But for playing, it's just so simple. So that's our tritones. And it really rocks them beautifully with the melody. But it also works really nicely for the F blues. So that's what we're choosing to do there. There's lots of other things, but go for simple. Go for simple. Okay, now a nice little drop down for the D flat. I like it low. It just gives a nice weight to the smolch of it all. All right, same chord for that. And then ba, ba. So all we're going to do is just keeping in our nice little voicings. We're going to use a G minor 7 rootless voicing here, which is, I'll give you numbers first. 7, 9, flat 3, 5, or F, A, B flat, D. Now you notice our melody note here lands in the middle of the chord, which means this top note could become confusing, so just leave it out. And you could lay it later if you wanted. I really don't know what I'm doing when I'm playing, because I'm usually thinking about heading off to here. Now, it does lead us on to a really interesting point, which is, why has he messed with that last chord? I've just changed it into an alt chord, that's all. I've taken the D that you might have on the top or the C, and I've created a flat 9. There's all sorts of ways you can do that. You can take any of the 9s or the 5s, for instance, and just change them. I could have put the sharp 5. Oh, actually, that's quite nice. But anyway, we'll see what happens when I'm playing. But we're turning the C7 into an alt chord, which enables us to use D flat jazz. Just adding interest. Coming back into the A section, we're just going to use the same voicings. We do have a C7 flat 9 at the very end of this, and you can do all sorts of stuff with that and play deliberately out, do all sorts of interesting, colourful things with it, and then just land on an F major 7. You'll notice in most tunes I'll add in a sharp 11, which is the B, not the B flat, the B, because it very much to me says, out of here, all over, done, all right. You want to let the audience know you're finished. You want to tell them the whole story. Okay, so there is our chords. Now, soloing tools. For our A section, first of all, we're going to use all our D minors and G minors, and we're going to have plenty of flexibility there because of the cache. So here's one. Here's our pure D minor. You notice that just hits the B flat. Now that is, in fairness, exactly the same as F major, just starting in a different place. So you can think that way, and of course the key is F major, so it's not really a problem, is it? Just started in a different place. There's your D pure minor. Now we also want to get some C sharps in there. So here's your D minor jazz. And if you think about it, that also really points out that we could use D minor harmonic, because we could use the B flat if we like. Now, with all those scales in play, it really means that there is a big flexibility around those notes. Play with it, enjoy it, it's fun. Okay, now that B flat leads into some of our extra scales, which is our G minors. Okay, just in case, here is D minor melodic. You notice that's the classical version, which really just covers coming up as the jazz minor. You see, that includes our C sharp, and then coming down in the pure minor. We're not going to do that so much in the G minor one because we don't really want to hit at that E flat too much. It's a use with care note. All right, let's play G minors. Show them all. Okay, first of all, here is jazz minor, which is just that gives us our F sharp. So that's G minor jazz. Now G minor pure is really just playing B flat in a different place. So we have an E flat there. G minor harmonic includes the E flat and the F sharp. And melodic includes both ways. This is the classical melodic, which means major 6 and 7, flattened 6 and 7, and flat 3. All of those are useful. Now we thought we'd get some arpeggios going. The arpeggios that we are going to possibly be using is over the D7, which, because it's nice and short, arpeggios are great for stating your harmony quickly. So here it is. Here's your chord, D7, and you just simply arpeggiate it. So that's for your D7 chord, D7 arpeggio. And here's for your A7 chord if you want, which is A, C sharp, E, G. For the D7 arpeggio, it's D, F sharp, A, C, D. Okay, careful. And for the G flat 7 arpeggio, which is in here, and you've only got 2 beats, so the arpeggio is a great way of getting harmony out. It's G flat, B flat, D flat, F. No, it's not. Peter. F flat. F flat. So those are your arpeggios. Those are all, well, soloing tools for your A section. Soloing tools for your B section are interesting as well. And there will be some arpeggios, he thinks, maybe. Yes, there will. Of course, D flat is going to work. So let's give you that scale nice and slow with a proper fingering at the top there. Put 2. Don't do what you saw me do before. Doesn't always help. Okay, there's D flat major. That's great. That's kind of most of what you're doing in the D section. Sorry, not D section, in the B section, except for the tritones. The tritones, which are these parts. Well, through a little bit of experimentation, I discovered that basically F sounds nice. F blues sounds good over it. Now for soloing wise, you can actually use the melodies. It's nice. Or all sorts of other variations. But F blues is great, and of course you want a good decision and something to go to. So that's great. Now we've got an A flat 7 there, that's great. And then the G minor 7, just towards the end, right? It's starting to head back into our key of, perhaps it's D minor, perhaps it's F. We think it's F. Definitely with that C7, and I've made it an alt chord, being an alt. Just for a bit of fun, but it's still a C7, 5 of 1 being F, right? So we've got that, but if you make a chord an alt chord, it raises an opportunity to use the jazz minor off the raised alt. I think here I've called it the D flat jazz just because of the D flat before. But all it is any alt of a dominant chord, which is the 5, just go to the sharp 5 and use the jazz minor, and here you have a nice sound. Notice it creates tension, and you can use the arpeggio. So I'll go through both of those. Here's the D flat jazz minor. Scale. And here is the D flat jazz minor arpeggio, which would be called D flat minor major 7. Probably played like that. Well, to be honest, I'm more comfortable there, but this is how I tend to finger those scales. If you're doing a black key, start on the 2 and then just use all your fingers and you'll be great. D flat, D flat, F flat, A flat, C, D flat. Those are a good collection of soloing tools. Those are the ones that I wanted to get across today. Oh no, I haven't showed you F blues as I'm telling you about it properly. F, A flat, B flat, B, C, E flat, F. 1, flat 3, 4, flat 5, 5, flat 7, 1. You probably know that by now. So let's think about our arrangement. Now, it's a ballad and it's quite a long tune. If you've been watching my videos, you'll know by now I'm sort of thinking, hey, let's give them more tunes rather than longer tunes. Therefore, 2 choruses is plenty. Unless you had another player. The thing is, more tunes are better. Oh, okay, and get on with it. So we're going to do an intro, and I think we will do this. Actually, I'll talk to you about this now, which is the... I got that just off listening, and it was in another key and everything, right? And I don't know if I really want to write it down. Don't write everything down. It's good to write stuff down, but that's just an F major 7 chord. That's just a D minor 7 chord, and just ways of playing it. The more you memorize, the better. So we're going to start with that arrangement. We'll do that until we're in, and then we'll kick in with our nice little pentatonic scale. Now we will play the head pretty as well, it's hard to say as written with jazz, isn't it? Because you don't have a lot written down. But we'll play the head relatively simply, and then we'll solo as soon as we finish the first pass of the chorus. Perhaps not lately. I haven't even been waiting to finish. I've just been starting to solo on the way out back into the A section. We'll solo the A section and a B section. That'll give us a nice big solo. It'll give us a solo that enables us to go up to the D flat section and the F blues. And I think we will make a fuss of that because the tune does start. It's F major and it's playing between, am I F major 7 or really am I? Playing with this, which is a very interesting thing to do in music anyway. Okay, and then it goes out to this 5 sharp 5. That's really interesting. I just creates a lot of thoughts in my head for music that we can write or tricks that we can use. Again, another reason why we probably consider Ellington a genius. Okay. So we do have all that. So we're going to have a nice solo section, and then we're going to finish back in on this, back into etc., etc. It's a great tune. If you get into learning this, you can play it forever and just really enjoy yourself playing between the two different types of sounds, the minor major in the front, and then the really uplifting D flat section and the blues. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and do that classic talk and play, which means, forgive me, I will at times play some rubbish, all right? However, if you can kind of know what's going on in a player's head while they're trying to do this stuff, it might help you yourself, and you might also feel all right about your own panic at times when you're playing away and you're having those moments. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're just going to start with this. That's our left hand, really. And how long we stay here is up to us. I like it. I like that. But we're going to straight into the pentatonic scale. And now we've got this creation. Notice the speed up. Nice to get that time right. Notice the interest of the E flat or the A7. This is sweet. Tritone substitution. G flat 7 is your tritone substitution, which would have been a C7. Not finished, and then back into the melody. Pick up a bit of speed just to give you a bit of space. Notice if you pick up speed, you can slow up at places. There's your dominant 7. And then, okay, now this A flat 7 is leading us perfectly because it's the dominant 7 of D flat, right? Into our D flat. A nice time for a drop down and a rootless D flat 7 chord. No need for the B flat minor. Now you could have put all sorts of chords there. You could have all that. I've lately just been doing 2 D flats. It works. That will take you a little practice, but it is quite satisfying, and I reckon it's pretty in a nice variation way. And this is nice because this is you see here is actually making that G minor 7 a minor 11 chord, which is so sweet. And here is where I suggest the D flat jazz minor. Although I was playing the major, interesting. Anyway, and then got a bit carried away there, but when that's such a nice melody. So it really doesn't need a lot of messing with it, but you can start your solo early. There we're on to the major 7 because we started too early. There's your major 7. We just blew through the A7, but we'll do an arpeggio for the D minor. We used the whole scale for the G flat, but we did start with the arpeggio. Back into the D minor, and I'm just showing you about all the flexibility about the Kesh, or the 7th harmony moving. Now that was the A7 arpeggio, and notice how it just stated the harmony beautifully. And now we're playing, probably shouldn't be playing that one, but we took it. Now we're on to our D flats. Now here's you could probably make more of that if you wanted to. And now we've got the 11. So that's a little play using those D flat jazz minor and arpeggio that I was telling you about. And then we're just going to drop back into our head. Bring your audience back into it by not messing with things too much, like I just did then. Now, maybe if you had another player, you might head off into another solo. We don't. And this is a nice time to say, now that was using the D flat minor major 7 arpeggio, but there's a lot of things you can use here, and I'm just going to stick with that. Now that I might add in a major 7s because we've had that, right? So I might just go, if I wanted it sweeter, or that was the major 7, or I might go, if I wanted to just leave a little colour of, maybe there's something else to come, or not so much, no, not so much something else to come, but in our story as being a little tenser, but it does give us sense of finish, and if you put them both together, well, you get my meaning, find somewhere to stop. Don't keep adding like I just did then. I was just showing you things. Once you get your chord thing, okay, I could have made that different, but I haven't, and that's cool. We're just going to go there. All right, I want you to now go try and learn all those different chords, voicings, play around with it. Tell me how you went. I'd love to hear from you. Okay, I will see you later, guys. You have a really wonderful play on In A Sentimental Mood, Duke Ellington, one of the geniuses. Not quite my time. He was gone before I think I was born, but close to my time. Enjoy. Bye for now.